Joining me on the 6th episode of Behind the Grind, he goes by the name of the Hawaiian Kamuela Kirk, a professional MMA fighter since 2013 and looking to continue for as long as possible. Kamuela, how's it going?
I'm doing great, man. Good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. So I just have a couple questions for you today, my man. To start the interview, can you tell us a little bit about your background for the people who aren't too sure about you?
Yeah. So I first started training in jiu-jitsu when I was 4 years old. I didn't do it straight from the time that I was 4 years old, but I was first introduced to it at 4 years old. And then I kind of did it on and off over the years until I was about 14. And that was when I knew, hey, you know what? I want to be an MMA fighter for sure. So I'm going to take this thing really seriously. You know, I played a bunch of other sports growing up as a kid, but when I was 14 and I got in high school, I knew that was the time to really pick one and focus on it. And so for me, that was MMA.
I did my research and I saw that you actually train with your mom and your cousin Alex. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, trained with, you said my mom and my cousin Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my mom, I don't really train with her too much, but I've held mitts for her before in the past. So maybe that's what you're talking about. Maybe you saw a video of me holding mitts for her a long time ago. But my cousin Alex, he's very, very talented in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's won many jiu-jitsu tournaments and usually does it in impressive fashion. He typically submits everybody, and a lot of times he'll do it even before the 30-second mark. So he's really, really talented. But my parents, when I was 13 years old, my mom and my dad opened up an MMA gym out here in Arizona. At the time, all the gyms were out east. There weren't a lot of gyms out west here in Arizona. So when I was 13, they opened up a gym. And so the whatever kind of training I've done with my mom has been at the gym, just me kind of holding mitts for her, just messing around. My dad is a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, so he's somebody that I've rolled with quite a bit and I've trained with, over the years, of course. But yeah, man, so that's kind of the story. My whole family's involved. It's pretty cool. My parents own the gym. My dad's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. My brother's a blue belt. He'll be a purple belt very soon in jiu-jitsu. My sister, it's funny, dude. So I'm the MMA guy in the family, but my sister had one amateur MMA fight. Fight. That fight was posted on YouTube, and I think it has over like 13 million views now on YouTube. It's crazy. So I'm supposed to be the MMA guy. Meanwhile, her one amateur fight has by far more views than any one of all of my fights put together. So it's kind of funny how that works out. But yeah, man. And then my cousins, my cousin Alex, my cousin Anna, who just won, first place in IBJJF Nationals. My uncle, he also trains as well. He's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. So the whole family's kind of involved, man. And it's pretty cool. It's something that we can all kind of do and bond, over together.
It's kind of like my family. Pretty much my whole family is our fighters, jiu-jitsu and MMA. So
right on, man.
Can kind of relate.
Nice, dude. So what does your family do? What do you guys focus on? Everything, or just kind of one aspect more so than the other? What do you guys do?
It's kind of in gymnastics now, actually. So she does jiu-jitsu on here and there. So and my brother's a professional MMA fighter, 5-0 so far. So
nice, man.
It's
right
pretty
on.
Cool.
That's impressive.
So can you explain a little bit about the meaning behind your name, the Juan?
Yeah. So basically, so I'll kind of break everything down. So Kamuela means Samuel in Hawaiian. Samuel is my father's name, and it's also my grandfather's name. So it's a name that's been passed down for a few generations now. The Hawaiian is Jamaican and Hawaiian, and it was a nickname that my dad gave me when I was a kid because my mom's side of the family is from Jamaica. And although my mom has family in Hawaii as well, but my mom's family is primarily from Jamaica. My dad's family is primarily from Hawaii. And so when I was a kid, my dad used to call me the Hawaiian boy. And so it was always just kind of something that stuck, over time. And then, when I had my first fight, the Hawaiian, it was just the perfect fit.
It's interesting. Can you tell me about your experience with the LFA?
Yeah, dude, man, I have nothing but great things to say about LFA. So they came out here to Arizona, which is where I live now. And, I fought for them. It was just a one-fight deal. Had an awesome experience. Went out there, had a great performance, and got the win in the first round by rear naked choke. After that, they wanted to sign me to a 3-fight deal, and which I was happy to do. In my opinion, besides like the UFC, and I mean there are a lot of great shows now, and there are more and more great MMA shows. But in my opinion, LFA has a fantastic relationship with the UFC, which is where I want to go. So I figured that LFA would be the best organization to sign with to get into the UFC. It was that next step right before getting into the UFC. And they're incredibly professional. Everybody's so friendly and easy to work with. So, man, I have nothing but great things to say about LFA.
Yeah, something you don't really find too often with most promotions nowadays.
Exactly. So when you find it, man, you wanna make sure that if they're taking care of you, you want to be loyal to them as well. It's a good working relationship.
Yeah. I understand. So the hot topic today is, when I did my research, I saw that you were on the Contender series.
Yes, sir.
Can you touch a little bit on that?
Yeah, man. So the Contender series, that was a hell of an opportunity. It was kind of crazy how the whole thing came about. Actually, I got the call from my manager on my birthday, which was April 13th. So the timing was perfect. I got that call and he goes, "Hey, brother, you're in. You're going to be fighting for the Contender series this summer." Dude, it was man, it's like a surreal moment because, like I said, I first started training when I was 4, didn't really take it seriously until I was 14. And then, at the time I was 14, man, I started taking it very, very seriously, training every day, devoted my life to the sport. I've had some ups and downs, have had some injuries and things that have literally taken me back, in years for my career, just dealing with different injuries and different things that I've gone through. And so to finally get that call and be like, "Hey, man, we're going to be fighting for the Contender series," it was especially on my birthday, it was really cool. And so, yeah, man, so the whole experience, I went out to Vegas 2 different times. One time was for the fight. The other time was to do a bunch of promotional marketing stuff, videos, interviews, photo shoots, that kind of stuff. And the whole experience, man, entirely was just, it was awesome, man. It was really, really cool. Again, kind of like LFA, dude. Everybody from the UFC was so friendly and easy to work with. They really, they made our jobs as fighters easy. They took care of everything. They would ask, "Hey, what do you guys need?" Even when I was up there to cut weight, they said, "Do you guys need sauna suits? Do you need sweet sweat? You tell us what you need and we'll provide it." So we're like, "Yeah, if we can get a sauna suit, that'd be nice." And they're like, Yep, no problem. They brought the sweet sweat, the sauna suit. They were always there, man. And it was, they were there for whatever we needed. And it was a great, great experience. Unfortunately, I wish the fight went a different way, but my experience overall was fantastic.
From you learn more actually about a loss than a win, so
Yeah, man.
So I read a little bit about
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no,
I read a little bit about your
all right, you go.
All right. I read a little bit about how you began training at the age of 4. Can you the competitive edge works with that versus someone who began training a little later?
Yeah. So basically, what kind of got me into it was my dad. My dad, he was watching the UFC since the very, very first UFC. So he's watched, MMA since the beginning, and he saw this dude, this little guy, man, Royce Gracie, who was out there tapping everybody else, everybody out. And it didn't matter what kind of martial art they came from, what their background was. It didn't matter how big they were, because back at that time they didn't even have weight classes. So
yeah.
He just sees this dude smaller than everybody, just tying guys up in knots, making them tap, making them quit. And my dad goes, "What is that martial art? I want to do it. I want to learn it. And I want my son to get involved as well." And so that was kind of the story, man. That's kind of how I got started. My dad watched Royce Gracie. My dad said he wanted to learn, and then he put me into it as well. Competitive, as far as a competitive edge, I would say that I just have, a lot of years on the mats. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of competition experience. I've won some pretty big jiu-jitsu competitions, like the World Championships. I won that at blue belt, in both gi and no gi. So just I guess competitively, I have time. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for a while. Even though I'm only 25, I have a lot of years of experience under my belt. So, I would definitely say that's probably the most competitive edge that I have with all my years of training is just, experience, more so than the average 25-year-old.
Yeah. So we were talking about your management earlier, actually. What role have they played in your MMA journey?
Yeah, so I work with Sucker Punch Entertainment, Brian Butler and Brian Hamper, and those two guys they're awesome, man. They are the middlemen. The middlemen. They're the ones who basically they're the ones that made the Contender Series possible. They're awesome to work with, incredibly professional, and they're the ones that basically say, hey, we have this fighter over here, and we think that he's ready for this next level, and they basically are the bridge between the gap of me and my future. You know what I'm saying? Me and the big time, the big shows. The UFC. They're the ones that hooked it up with LFA at the time. So, dude, they're awesome, man. Working with them has been game changer for my career, and I plan on working with them for the rest of my career.
Sweet. So last in your way, bro. Where can we find you on social media? And is there anyone to give a shout out to? The stage is all yours.
Okay, perfect, man. Yeah, thank you. You guys can check me out on Twitter and on Instagram. My username is the Jawaian. It's like Hawaiian with a J, in case it's tricky to spell. The Jawaian. And then shout out to everybody, everybody who's stuck by me through the ups and the downs, man. It's been a crazy journey so far. We're still just getting started, but it's been a crazy journey so far, and especially coming off this last loss, dude, the amount of support that I've received has been comparable to any win that I've ever gotten, which is crazy. I wouldn't, dude, I might have gotten even more support and more love after my loss than I have with any of my wins, man. So it's pretty incredible for anybody, family members, friends, teammates, coaches, fans, anybody who's stuck by me and continue to do so. I have a lot of love and respect for, and I appreciate all you guys.
Looks to be all the time we have for now, brother. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and already looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah,
right,
sounds
I'll talk
good,
to you
man.
soon.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Peace.